Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of our viewing audience. My name is Ted Zarzechny, and I am the chairman of the Selection Commission. What you are now seeing, and publicly broadcast. The Selection Commission is with recommending at least 32 candidates to be considered by the High Council of Justice for appointment of 16 persons to be the members of the High Qualification Commission of Judges of Ukraine, the HQCJ. The purpose of this official meeting is twofold. Firstly, to approve the choice of the 64 candidates out of the 301 applicants who will move forward to stage 2 of our Selection Commission process. All is required by the law on the judiciary and the law respecting judges of Ukraine. The second purpose is to elect and approve a new chairperson and vice chairperson of the Selection Commission. On behalf of my colleague members of the Selection Commission, I welcome you, all our viewers. A special welcome to you, the 301 candidates who may be viewing this broadcast and who have applied to be approved and to be considered for the process of our selection of the HQC members of Ukraine. We welcome as well any members of the High Council of Justice and their secretariat, as well as the Secretariat of the High Qualification Commission of Judges of Ukraine and the members of our own Secretariat who are viewers of this meeting. We thank you for your continuing support. I wish to especially recognize Olga Nikolaeva, our senior legal advisor and assistant. We call her our chief of staff. Our communication officer, Olena Privalova, our technology officer, Yaroslav Kitan, as well as our translator for this meeting, Oleg Litvak. Thank you for your support. Speaking of our supporters and partners in our process, we welcome viewers from the Ukrainian civil society organizations concerned with judges' appointments and the administration of justice in Ukraine. These include ANTAC, De Jure, CPLR, Automaidan, and the Ukrainian Bar Association, to mention only a few. Our supporters also include NABU and NAC, and we welcome any viewers from these organizations. We also welcome representatives of the process of which our Selection Commission is a part, is being undertaken. I turn now to Justice Ivan Mischenko, the current vice chair of the commission and a judge of the Supreme Court of Ukraine, to bring you greetings. Ivan, I turn the stage over to you.
I'd like to welcome everybody on this meeting, and we've been waiting for it so long. We have a list of 64 candidates, and I think everybody's wondering to see who's on the list. That's why I want to welcome everybody.
Thank you, Ivan. And now, as is customary for our publicly streamed official meetings of the Commission, I wish to take an opportunity to have the members of the Commission introduce themselves to you. I will begin. My name is Justice Ted Zarzechny. I am a retired 22-year member of the Canadian Federal Court of King's Bench in Canada. Prior to that, I was a lawyer for 25 years. I've had the privilege and honor of working in Ukraine since 2012. Firstly, as a member of a Canadian delegation assisting with the education of Ukrainian judges in 5 regions of Ukraine. That gave me the opportunity to visit Ukraine on some 22 different mission occasions. After those 5 years, I became a member and vice chairman of the Public Council of International Experts that assisted the High Qualification Commission of Ukraine in the appointment of the judges of the High Anti-Corruption Court of Ukraine, both trial court and appeal court members. It is my privilege to continue to participate presently as chair of the Selection Commission. I now turn the floor over to Justice Ivan Mischenko to introduce yourself, Ivan.
Thank you very much, Ted. My name is Ivan Mischenko. I'm a justice at the Supreme Court and deputy chairperson of the Selection Commission. Thank you.
Next, member of the commission, Robert Broekhuizen.
Yes, my name is Robert Broekhuizen. I am an attorney, practicing attorney. I have a law firm in the Netherlands that's operating and quite busy. I'm a former prosecutor of the Serious Fraud Office in the Netherlands, and I'm participating in this commission since the beginning. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Robert. Next, Judge Yevgen Mizentsev.
Thank you. My name is Yevgen Mizentsev. I'm a judge at the Administrative Court of Appeal. I have experience of working at prosecutors' offices as a lawyer as well, in commercial and administrative courts, so I've had a quite vast experience. And for quite a while, I've been part of the State Executive Service. I'm so glad that this selection commission has done a very serious job to select those candidates that will be admitted to interviews, and this is one of the unique cases in Ukraine when the selection process is handled through a positive selection process where we're selecting the best of the best. So I'm so happy and privileged to be part of the team. Thank you.
Thank you, Yevgen. Justice Stephen Markman.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Markman. I'm from the United States. I served as a justice and chief justice of the Supreme Court of Michigan for 21 years, and before that as a prosecutor for the Department of Justice. It's an honor to serve on this commission. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Stephen. And last but not least, Judge Sergei Verlanov.
Good morning, good afternoon. I work at the Kiev Court of Appeal. I'm part of the Selection Commission since its very beginning, since its inception, and I'm so glad that I'm part of this commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergei, and thank you, members. Members, you have before you an agenda for the meeting that has been prepared and that you have studied. I would now present a motion for the approval of the meeting agenda. All in favor, please show your hands. Against, if any, none. Approved unanimously. A second motion I present now, colleagues, is to approve myself, Ted Zarzachny, to act as chairman of this meeting. All in favor, please show your hands. Against, if any, none. Approved unanimously. I have prepared a few opening remarks, and they are as follows. First, I wish to take this opportunity to share with you, our viewers, especially the 301 candidates that the Selection Commission has admitted to this competition, some of the work that we and our advisors and supporters have undertaken since the close of the competition application period, August 22nd, 2022. This is the process that has led ultimately to our selection of the 64 candidates who will move to the second stage of this competition. As I noted earlier, our selection commission work is supported by highly qualified and professional legal assistants. We have employed 11 of those professionals to assist us. And in addition, we have employed 20 interpreters and translators. We have studied 13,828 documents received from and about the candidates. We have received and reviewed in detail 1,500 asset declarations received from the NACP. Civil society organizations have provided us with over 300 information notes on candidates that have applied. We have requested certain additional information and explanations from candidates as part of our review process, respecting mostly financial issues, and we have received and analyzed more than 640 explanatory documents. Our selection commission members have met regularly by Zoom almost weekly for over 2 hours each for the last 4 months. We have met in person in Warsaw for 2 weeks at the end of November to share and review all of this information and much more to identify those 64 candidates to move forward to the stage 2 interviews in the process outlined by the law on the status of justice and the judiciary of Ukraine. I want to speak very briefly to the candidates who have not been chosen to participate in the list of 64 candidates moving on to the second stage of the competition. A few days ago, we witnessed the end of one of the most important sporting events in the world, the World Cup of Football held in Qatar. In this competition, 206 teams worldwide played 865 matches to qualify to be the 32 teams who qualified to take part in the World Cup final competition. 174 of those teams, representing 174 countries, did not qualify for the list of 32. After many more matches, only 4 teams qualified to play in the first, second, and third places. Nevertheless, all of the teams participating in and for this competition, and all of the hundreds, if not thousands of players, I'm sure, were proud to participate and to represent their countries in this wonderful sporting event. So too, in our selection commission competition, we resolved very early on to choose 64 out of the now 301 candidates applying to continue to the stage 2 interviews. Twice the number, 64, twice the number of the 32 that will ultimately be recommended to the High Council of Justice. 237 of you candidates that have applied, 237, will not advance to the second stage of the competition. Nevertheless, as it was with all of the players seeking to compete in the World Cup, you too should be very proud that you have offered your education, your 15 or more years of work in the law, your experience, your professional competencies, as well as your integrity to serve your fellow citizens of Ukraine as potential members of the High Qualification Commission of Judges of Ukraine. I wish to advise you Those not qualifying for our list of 64 and ultimately 34. But we will not be issuing any negative opinions regarding any candidate not recommended to the High Council of Justice for appointment to the High Qualification Commission of Judges of Ukraine. We will only issue positive opinions for those that we will recommend. Now, with those few opening remarks, I will now move to deal with the remaining items of the approved agenda. Colleagues, you have before you a list of 64 candidates that will be admitted to the competition for the selection of members of the High Qualification Commission of Judges of Ukraine to be recommended to the High Council of Justice for appointment. This is as provided for and authorized by Article 95, paragraph 18 of the Law of Ukraine on the Judiciary and the Status of Judges to proceed to stage 2 interview as part of our process. You have that list of 64 before you now. I move, seconded by Justice Mischenko, that our commission now approve for advance to stage 2 of the competition for the election or selection of judges of the High Qualification Commission of Judges of Ukraine, the 64 candidates for approval to advance to stage 2 interview of the competition. All in favor, please raise your hands. All right. Against, if any? None. Passed unanimously. At the beginning of the work of our commission, ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience, it was understood and agreed that our commission, by its rules of procedure, were required to appoint a chairman of the commission and vice chairman of the commission. It was agreed that that would alternate as between the international members of the commission and then the Ukrainian members of the commission in order to demonstrate the equal importance and participation of each of those 3 members of the commission. I was privileged to be elected the first chairman of the commission as a member of the international group, and Justice Ivan Mischenko was elected as vice chairman of the commission. It was agreed, as our rules of procedure require, that the commission chairman serve for a period of 1 year, and that this would then be reconsidered for the 2nd year of the operation of the commission, which we are about to enter. Therefore, colleagues and members of the commission, I hereby nominate Justice Ivan Mischenko as a representative of our commission, and particularly the Ukrainian members of the commission as well. But I recommend and nominate Justice Ivan Mischenko to be the chairman of the selection commission for the next year. All in favor, please show your hands. Against, if any? None. Approved unanimously. I now turn the chair over to you, Justice Mischenko.
Дякую, Тед.
Thank you, Ted. First of all, dear colleagues, allow me to extend my words of sincere gratitude to all our international partners and our colleagues as well, our international experts. I want to thank you, Ted, for being a great chairperson of the Commission, and you've done everything possible for our Commission to be running as a team. We all felt equal. We always had. And now we came up with this very important outcome, which is the list of 64. That's why my suggestion is for us to chair this selection commission together. And this is my motion to recommend Ted Zazechny as the vice chair of the commission. Please, who's in favor? It is accepted unanimously.
Thank you, Ivan, and thank you, colleagues, for these two elections and appointments. I now want to move to the next item on our agenda, which is a presentation by Justice Ivan Mischenko respecting the next steps and providing you with some information regarding the 64 candidates we have approved to move to stage 2 of the competition. So I turn the floor over to you, Justice Mischenko.
Дякую.
Thank you.
Шановні колеги,
Dear colleagues, right now, you're going to see a brief presentation that we called the profile of candidates who were admitted to the interviews, and you will see the list on the HCJ's website and our Facebook page. You're going to see the list with first and last names. Here on this slide, you can see the profile information about those candidates. The biggest number of candidates we've had from Kyiv and the region of Kyiv, it's almost 50% of the list. Unfortunately, there are a little bit less than a half of women, but this reflects the overall trend that has been out there since we had the list of 301. So from the 64 candidates, 23 are judges, 17 are academics, 10 are lawyers, and 9 of our colleagues have mixed status, 3 from law enforcement, and we also have 2 retired judges. You can also see their age and the regions they represent. Apart from Kyiv, traditionally we've always had many candidates from Lviv and Kharkiv, and indeed we received most of the candidates from those regions after Kyiv. This is the first overall analysis that will be more detailed, and you're going to see this information on our Facebook page and on the HCJ's website. Just very briefly about the next stage. We're moving to interviews with candidates. We're planning to have those interviews during January, February 2023. The interviews will be taking place over Zoom. That's why we all realize that the key challenge and threat of this stage will be the blackouts and outages. That's why the Commission will do everything possible to support the candidates and make sure this process is organized as smoothly and safely as possible. So we want to indeed have it very seamless. The Commission will continue to communicate with you, dear candidates. Each of the candidates will receive a letter where the Commission will try to explain very briefly about what the interview is going to be about, what they have to prepare for. The interviews will be held over Zoom, like I mentioned before, and it will be broadcast on YouTube. And the recording will be stored on YouTube, so whoever wants to watch it later, you can actually watch the stream and watch it later if you want. and support your favorite candidates. If everything works according to the plan and happens seamlessly, then already in March, we will be able to create the list of 32 candidates to be recommended to HCJ for their appointment. However, a lot of things depend on the war, and we are suffering from outages. So this is why, dear candidates,
Чи навіть під час самого інтерв'ю.
don't worry if something goes wrong on the day of your interview. If you're out of electricity, then we're going to set an alternative date for the interview, and we want to make sure we hold all those interviews the way they're supposed to be held. So we're going to contribute and do everything possible for this process to be as transparent, as open, and as efficient as possible, like we've always tried. This is it from my side. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. Ted, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ivan. And as you pointed out at the beginning of your review, all of this information that we have provided to you in summary form will be posted on the website of the High Council of Justice, together with the public media websites of our selection commission. Well, ladies and gentlemen and colleagues on the commission, this completes the business portion of the meeting. Both myself and Judge Mischenko will provide you with very brief closing comments, but left the members of the commission for last. I think I express the gratitude of the people of Ukraine, if I may take the liberty of being so bold, for all of the work that the members of the Selection Commission have done in the almost year now since we have been appointed. I can't tell you how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours have been spent by the members of the commission in the work of reviewing the 301 candidates, passing all of our rules of procedure, our will be restored and secured. That is our hope and our prayer for the new year. We wish you the compliments of this Christmas holiday season, both the Western and Eastern traditions, and we hope that there will be some opportunity for all of the citizens of Ukraine to be united with their families in that celebration. I now turn the floor over to you, Ivan, for any final or closing remarks that you may have.
Дякую, Тед.
Thank you very much, Ted. I'm so proud to be part of this process. This process takes Ukraine closer to the EU membership, and the work of this selection commission is a small contribution to this big picture. In all those extreme efforts that our country is trying to actually engage to eventually become the full-fledged member of the European Union. So we work on the victory and we do everything possible to prevail. And we want to make sure the Selection Commission and our EU membership, as the result of our cooperation, all this to be our big victory. Thank you, dear colleagues.
Thank you, Ivan. Colleagues, that completes all of the business of the meeting as scheduled. I now present a motion approving the close of this official meeting. All in favor? Opposed, if any, none, passed unanimously. Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, members of our viewing audience, for your participation today.